Hi everyone, my name is Jillian Vera and I'm with the Ilitch School Career Services office here at Wayne State University's Business School, and welcome to the Handshake series. So in this video, we're going to build out your Handshake profile and we're going to set you up correctly to start connecting with employers and recruiters to assist you in networking and really getting that experience, whether that's an internship or a full-time position. So before we dive in, I do want to note that either in the description notes or below this video, that there are a few resources. There's going to be the presentation that we have right here, and there also is a reflection worksheet that you can use, and that is totally optional. I honestly would recommend that you pause throughout this video and you follow along and really start building out your profile, putting in your career interests, and even starting to look and follow companies during this video as well. So if you have a Wayne State email, you already have a Handshake account, which is great news. And the question is whether your profile is actually working for you or just kind of sitting there doing nothing. So in the next few minutes, we're going to fix that. And by the end of this video, hopefully you'll have a profile that recruiters can actually find. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off my camera. We're only going to view the laptop, and we're just going to quickly go over an intro to Handshake. So here are a few reasons on why you should use Handshake. So first off, it's Wayne State University's #1 internship and full-time position platform. You can get hired, you can discover and land jobs and internships. You can also get messaged directly by employers who are looking for people with skills similar to yours. You can get connected with employers, learn more about their company, and even learn about new ones. And you can also get expert help. So from career building resources to employers recommended by your career center. So Wayne State University's Career Center, specifically at the Mike Ilitch School of Business. Handshake is where you can book appointments with our career counseling team, and you can also view events on there from employers and your career counselors as well. So the main question, where do you want to go? There's over 1 million employers of all shapes and sizes, and there's 100% of the Fortune 500 companies. So all of them are on there. And here is just a little bit of a preview of some of the big companies that you probably have heard of before that are on Handshake, actively recruiting students and alumni just like you. So here are even more companies, and they're also split up into categories. We have software and tech, banking and finance, professional services, construction, engineering, transportation, logistics, you name it, it's probably on there. So here's a little testimonial from someone. Again, we will go ahead and skip forward because I want to get to the meat of it, which is building out your profile, building out your career interests, and then getting started and looking on jobs and internships on there. So this is where we are going to be for the most of this video, is really building out your Handshake profile. So employers find you based on the career interests you have in your Handshake profile. So your interests include the job type, the location, and the job roles, things that you're interested in. So these 3 sections right here are super important, which we will go into more depth and I will walk you through once we go through my student Handshake profile account. It's also a way that you can get messaged by employers and also message them back. So you can get the inside scoop on the job you want by messaging on your employer list. So some tips: always start off friendly, opening, tell them a little bit about yourself, ask a few questions about the role in the company, and you always want to make sure that you are representing your best self on Handshake. Now, you may see that you get a lot of notifications and you might think that they're not looking, that recruiters who are sending you messages aren't looking at your replies, but little do you know they actually are. So it is important to always reply, putting your best foot forward, and keeping that door open for future connection. You can also attend events on Handshake. You can attend employer directly hosted events, or you can attend and see events that are hosted by your Career Services Center, which is where my office works. And then you can also get expert help. So this is a little bit more about the Career Center. Again, this is all on Handshake. So there's so many things, so many reasons why we want you all on there, because you can schedule appointments with a career counselor for things like resume checks, mock interviews, career counseling. We have assessments, and there's so much more on there. You can also explore Wayne State University's specific collections that we have made for you all by major. And there's also all of our resources. So our resource section is filled with how-to how-tos and tools and softwares that we have purchased for you all for free. So I definitely would recommend checking these out. Again, this presentation is going to be in the notes. You can also see employers that were recommended by our Career Center, anyone who maybe has been to a previous career fair with us, you can see them in there. So let's go ahead and get started. So Handshake is a web app and a mobile app as well, so there are multiple ways to access it. What we're going to do today is I'm going to go to the web version of Handshake just because I think it's easier, especially for building out your profile. However, to access it and for you all to follow along, I would recommend scanning this QR code up here, and I will give you a few seconds to do that. Again, feel free to pause the video. You can also type in this URL up here, and it will bring you to our Ilitch School College to Career Intel page. So this is a whole resource library filled of career service resources that are tailored to you all. It also has career fair information on here. It's pretty much your toolkit for career readiness, sample resumes, all that good stuff. But we're going to scroll down to here to Power Tools, and you will click on Handshake, and then you will want to log in. And like I said previously, you all have a Handshake student account already made for you, so you don't have to go in and create one. You just have to log in with your Wayne State University access ID and password. So you might already recognize me because I've been logged in all day, but yours will be prompted to log you in, and this is going to be the homepage it will refer you to. So we are going to go to our profile, and to do that, you're going to want to click your little icon up here in the top right corner, and you will go to Profile. So you're going to see whether maybe you did it in the past and you filled out your profile, or it's at 0%. You're going to want to make sure that this bar is at least 3 out of 4 ways done, I guess you could say, or 100% completion. That's always better. The only thing that I don't have is a employer visible resume. However, we are going to go through some of the most important sections when filling out your profile, especially from a recruiter's perspective. So the Handshake profile completion is driven by 3 core fields: at least 1 experience, 1 organization, 1 skill, and an accurate education section. So recruiters search by these fields, and we're going to go through and we are going to fill them out, or I'm going to show you where you can fill them out. So for the looking for, this is definitely something that recruiters can search for. You are going to be able to come in here, edit this. Are you looking for an internship, full-time, part-time job? You're just looking for networking. That's always a great thing as well. Maybe you already have a position. You're not exactly looking for one in this moment. That's totally fine. You can also fill in the roles that you want. And if you don't know this information, that's okay. At least filling in the information that you do know will be super helpful when recruiters are reaching out to you. You can also do the industries. So, you can work in specifically an accounting industry, or you can work as an accountant in the healthcare industry, in the fashion industry, in higher education. There are so many different industries that a lot of job titles can still be housed in. So this is definitely important information to have on your looking for as well. And then of course your locations. You'll want to have this filled out on where you want to find work. So I always recommend to have an about section. Obviously that was not one of the sections that I listed that recruiters search by, but if they are going to come across your profile, it's going to be nice to know who you are and why you maybe majored in a specific thing, or why you're interested in working in a specific thing, or even your career goals as well. So I definitely would recommend filling this out. This is similar to like a LinkedIn summary. If you are kind of unsure on what to put, you're not really sure what industry you're going into, you can simply put, hi, my name is Jillian. I am a Wayne State University Mike Ilitch School of Business student. I'm currently a student assistant in the Career Services office. I do X, Y, and Z. So you can keep it very simple, or you can get even creative with it. Totally up to you and your call and how you want to be perceived by recruiters. The next section that is also important is the skills. So what are things that you can put in here that you are confident in? Have you worked in Microsoft Office? You know, we all at Wayne State University have an Outlook email, so that might be nice to have on there. Did you work on a group project where you worked in SAP, ERP? Maybe you do social media content, or you volunteer and you do social media content for a restaurant. You can put that skill in here. Really any skill that is going to help you achieve your career goals. So anything that you can apply to your career path, you're going to want to put in your skill section that you have experience in. So again, if you're not experienced in Python, you probably shouldn't list Python on there, because if a recruiter asks you, hey, I saw you had experience in Python and computer coding, would you be interested in this position? You know, then it's not exactly being truthful to them. So just to keep in mind, you want skills that you actually have experience in and that you can talk through. So another section that I did mention was your work experience. You want to have at least one work experience in here. That can be full-time, part-time, internship, anything that displays that you worked for an employer and the job, the title that you held, the employer's name, and you're going to want whether it was a full-time, part-time position, and the dates. So this is all very similar to the LinkedIn profile if you have one set up. And then you're just going to want a little statement about your main job responsibilities there. So what did you do? And if you can, it's always best to tailor it to your career goals. So for example, if you are going into accounting and you have an accounting internship and you specifically want to do audit, okay, then what did you do in your past accounting internships that can translate to an audit internship in the future, if that makes any sense. Just connecting it to your career goals and your outcomes. So you can add as many as you want in there, and I would recommend adding your strongest ones. You don't have to add everything, but even just having one simple thing in there. For example, if you were maybe a receptionist somewhere, you could keep it as simple as this. I was a receptionist. The company's name was Rose and Huck. It was part-time. Here are the dates that I worked. And then also, here's just a few little things that I did at my time there that apply to my career goals. So another very important section is your education. Now, some of this might already be filled out if you are logging in for the first time. You will still have a little bit something in here. I would definitely recommend to make sure that this section is filled out accurately. So you're going to want the university, Wayne State University, but if you are in a specific college, for example, the Ilitch School of Business, you're going to want to have that on here as well. This just confirms that you were at the business school and that this is accurate, because let's say a recruiter is down the line and they somehow look at your resume. If you applied to a position, they can then confirm it with your Handshake profile that yes, this student has both on their resume, Handshake profile, and maybe even LinkedIn, a bachelor's degree. Their major was accounting, business administration. They went to the business school. And here are the dates. Here's that GPA. You can also add that on here. We do recommend that if your GPA dips a little bit below 3.0, maybe we leave it off. But if you have a 3.5 or above, or even a 3 and above, I would say to list it on here. Recruiters don't use GPAs as much as they did in the past, but that's still definitely something that they look at. So if you have a strong one, I would definitely recommend keeping it on there. Again, you can add some certificates, you can add your top courses. So in this section, I wouldn't necessarily add all of the courses that you have taken at Wayne State University. I would definitely do the ones that apply to where you are looking to go. So, for example, if you are looking to go into global supply chain, maybe, you would want to list any ERP systems that you have used. Or, for example, if we go back to my accounting one, since that was my undergrad major, I would want to have accounting systems design and control on here, auditing, probably my tax class, anything like that that I believe has skills and things that I've learned that contribute to my career path and being able to work for a company in XYZ. And now we're getting into more of the optional profiles, but if you have time, I recommend stopping and filling these out as well. So organizations, were you a part of any student orgs, any clubs? Did you volunteer anywhere? This is the area that you would add that in. And then also the projects. Do you have any specific course projects, any specific work projects that you've done that showcase your skills that you are looking to showcase on your profile? So you can add a little title, when this took place, if it's an ongoing thing, and then just a few skills and responsibilities that you did within that. And then you can also do some links in here. If you have a portfolio, I would definitely recommend putting that into your bio section up here. You can link it in here. You can also link your LinkedIn profile, so you can kind of make these the same. And then you can actually add that portfolio link in here. So that's definitely something I would recommend. And then of course, languages section, if you do speak another language fluently, or let's see. Yep, you can put the proficiency in there as well. So if you do speak any other languages or know a little bit, you can definitely put that on your profile. Perfect. Awesome. So now we're going to go into a few of the other sections. So those ones were the main. So we have our education. You want to make sure that's filled out accurately. You want to make sure that you have your major, your actual degree, which is going to be a bachelor's if you're undergrad, master's if you are a graduate student, and then all majors at Wayne State University's Ilitch School Business, you are all majoring in a bachelor's in business administration. Your major is going to be accounting, TISA, entrepreneurship and innovation, global supply chain management, finance, marketing. That is going to be your major. So you want to make sure that you have your major and your actual degree name accurate, and then you're going to want to have your graduation dates on there. You can do present, however, I would recommend, if there is a way to do it, adding in your expected graduation date. So I would probably click this off, and let's see if I can do, yep, so you can do that on here. I would do your expected graduation date just so that it's clear to recruiters when they can expect you to be done with that degree. And then lastly, we have our work experience section. Again, you want to have at least one of those filled out on here. You're going to want to have one skill, and then we always recommend having one organization as well. Now for the other sections, I would recommend having a professional headshot as your profile icon so they can put a face to the name. I also recommend having a bio in here, just detailing maybe what you're looking for. If you're a student currently at the Ilitch School of Business, maybe you would put your major in here as well. And then of course, I would recommend putting your main location, just so that they know that right away, that information. And then like I said, that profile, your LinkedIn profile, or even a portfolio, anything that's showcasing your work that has to do with your career, I would recommend linking in here as well. So next, we are going to move on. We're going to navigate to your career interest area. So it's definitely going to be similar to you're looking for, but it's an area that more so tailors to the jobs and internships that come up in this tab right here. So we're going to go to your profile icon in the upper right corner, and we're going to go down to career interests. Click into here, and you're going to be able to fill out what type of position you are looking for, full-time, internship, part-time, maybe an on-campus job. You can find a lot of positions for on-campus student assistant and federal work studies on Handshake, and you can actually filter directly for them if you know that's something you want to look for. But you can also put that as your interest. You can do what your options are considering after graduation, maybe a fellowship, gap year, graduate school. You can note that in here. You can note how Handshake can help you so that it can even be more concise with what it feeds into your searches and your algorithm as well. And then you kind of go into more about the things that we listed in you're looking for, which is what types of jobs you're interested in, what you're interested in living in, what industries, and this does tie to your profile as well. It also notes which kind of jobs or job functions interest you, which I think is really cool. And then when did you graduate, or when are you graduating? So my graduation date obviously wasn't then. It was May 2025, and I will save that. And that's all. So I definitely recommend filling out your career interests. It helps to match with what's in you're looking for, and then it also helps to match with your recommendations in this jobs tab. So next, we are going to check your visibility settings. So this is how recruiters can either find you, see your profile, or if they can't even view it. And you know, there's so many reasons to each of them as to why you would have either of them. So we are going to walk through. You're going to click your icon, profile icon up here again, and we are going to go to Awesome. Here we are. So I just went into, just had to walk myself through a quick second. I went through and selected settings. And then it's going to bring you to your settings page, so you can kind of make sure that your personal information is correct, like your name, your demographic, your race and ethnicity. Now, you don't have to do that. It is optional, but it's always nice to check. But we are going to go down to this privacy. So the change on your visibility, if you are a community, this allows you to post to the feed, which you can post kind of like, it reminds me of a mix of X and Instagram, but you'll be able to post here if you are community. You're able to message other students and follow other students and alumni. You'll also be able to receive messages from employers about job opportunities. You'll be able to browse jobs and other resources from Handshake and Wayne State University. And your profile will be visible to employers, students, and alumni across all Handshake institutions. And you're also able to get a shareable public link to your profile that maybe you also put in your LinkedIn profile. So this, with community access, allows you to do all of those things. It's the most recommended privacy feature just because you're the most public. However, if that's something you don't want, you can also do this employers one, which is only employers can see your profile and message you. No one can follow you, like students and alumni at other institutions or at your own school, and you cannot post or comment in the feed, which again is like that X and Instagram, Twitter. Whatever you want to call it. And then if you don't even want to be visible at all to anyone, you can keep your content private. No one will be able to see your profile, they won't be able to message you, and they won't be able to follow you. And again, you cannot post or comment on with a private privacy setting. So I have my profile as a community because I want to connect with everyone, and I think that that is aligned with my career goals, with networking, and just meeting new people. However, feel free to set your own privacy settings however you would like, and you're just going to want to click save those changes. So I would pause right now and go ahead and check your visibility settings before we move on. Perfect. And now we're going to move on to the documents section. I think that this is super important because if we go back to my profile section, I don't have an employer visible resume, which is crazy. I should, but I somehow don't. So we are going to navigate. If you click your profile icon up here again, we're going to go to the documents section, and you are going to be able to upload your resume, any cover letters, and your transcripts in here. This is where you'll be able to house them and see them. And as you can also see, you can get your resume reviewed by an Ilitch School Career Services peer career advisor. So when you automatically upload to Handshake, and if you have the Mike Ilitch School of Business in your education setting, your document is going to go into a pending review. So if I were to upload, and I'm just going to choose a random one, and then I'm going to name this, let's say Jillian Bureau resume, And you're going to want to make sure that you select the correct document type. So for resume, you'll upload your resume. Cover letters, the cover letter. Transcript, your academic transcripts, you'll upload in there. And if it's another document, for example, sometimes for work studies, you have to upload more documents, then you would use the other documents section. And then here's where you can make it visible or not visible to employers. So if this were my resume, I would make it visible to employers, and then I would click save. You can also use a little description. Maybe this is for the Deloitte Audit Internship Winter 26. Just to refresh my memory if I ever come back to it. Why did I use this resume? There it is. It's in the description. And your file will then be uploaded. You'll be able to see it. And if we go back, refresh my page, you will see that it's in a pending review. That means that the peer career advisors who review our resumes that are uploaded to Handshake for students at the Ilitch School of Business, they are in the process of reviewing your document. Now, if they have any recommendations, they're going to leave a changes suggested review status. I would recommend checking them out. You know, what did they say? Okay, for this resume, at the Ilitch School of Business, blah, blah, blah. Okay, then I would probably go in and update my resume with whatever the content that they said, and I would re-upload until I received a reviewed status. So once you receive the reviewed status, your application, if it is attached to a job application, so let's say you went to this jobs category, you found a position, you're uploading your resume, and it gets reviewed, then it finally gets submitted. However, if you receive changes suggested, your resume is going to get stopped from getting put through for that job application. So it is important to kind of take note with what they say, so that your application to that position actually goes through. However, you will receive a reviewed status once the peer career advisors have reviewed it. And if you have any questions about what they say, our office does do walk-in advising every Tuesday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and then also 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. every Tuesday in Suite 299 at the Ilitch School of Business building. And we also do take appointments. So all that to say, let's go back, circle it back. I kind of went a little far with that. You can upload your document, and then you can also do a visible ready. If I were to go to my profile, it would probably say, nice work, your profile is shining. Your custom profile link is ready. So now you would be able to customize your link, your profile link, and send it out to people. Maybe you include this on your resume as well if you're going to a networking event, anything like that. But that is how you upload your documents if you are hoping to maybe get a review by a peer career advisor, or if you're even applying to a job and you apply through Handshake. That's kind of the process that your document will go through. Again, then you can also upload cover letters, transcripts, all of that good stuff. Awesome. So now, your one action after this video is to get your profile to at least the 3 core fields: 1 experience, 1 organization, and 1 skill. And then I'd recommend setting your visibility in those settings again to the one that you would like. In the next video, we're actually going to talk about how to actually find and apply to jobs and internships strategically on Handshake and not just scroll, apply, and hope. But yes, that will be in the next video after this in part 2. Again, I would recommend checking out this job section, checking out your career center section. That's where you're going to be able to book and view resources. You'll be able to book appointments with a career counselor if you would like to, virtual, in person, or again, just stop by on Tuesdays. However, that is pretty much all that I had. Again, this PowerPoint slide is going to be linked in the notes or description area, but really your main takeaways, honestly, that I would recommend doing as soon as possible is to just get your Handshake profile filled out 100% completely with your current career goals and interests. However, if you are all done with that because you followed along and paused this video, kudos to you. I would recommend moving on to the second video. All right, well, thank you all so much, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day, weekend, night, wherever you are watching this, and I will see you in video 2.